Okay, this is now the 5-minute tarot for the 20th of June 2017. And today I have a visual aid. It's a cup. I'll show you that in a minute. Because I want to look today at the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Coins, because when you look at the picture, they can look similar or they can look the same because you've got a hand emerging from a cloud. One's holding a cup, the other's holding a coin. But I want to say that they're really not the same at all. At first glance, you may think that both images show balancing of some sort, but there's something different going on here. So this means that if the Ace of Cups comes up, we say something. If the Ace of Pentacles comes up, we say something different. We don't say the same thing to the questioner. So the cards aren't really interchangeable, even though we might want them to be, or we might at first glance think that they are or assume that they are. So the Ace of Cups, with a cup, a goblet, there's a natural way for a cup to stand. There's a base that's built into the construction or the shape and the design of the cup. So the hand balancing the cup on the palm shows skill and imagination, or using the cup in a different way. So it can show in its own way, it can show original thinking that maybe belongs with the Ace of Cups. So if you're the Ace of Cups in a horoscope spread and describes you, for the time being, you're thinking creatively, you're thinking originally. You can take a typical or a normal situation, but instead of handling it the way everybody else does, you bring your own individual, unique take to it, and you end up doing, or you behave in a different kind of a way. An example of this is with video conferencing, because when video conferencing was first developed and promoted, it was marketed as the poor man's meeting, right? So that we're going to have a video conference because we don't want to have to pay for you to fly to Rome. So we'll have a video conference. And so, it's doing it on the cheap or saving money. So it was kind of presented as the poor man's meeting. Instead of, it could have been marketed as the rich man's phone call. And imagine if video conferencing had been regarded as the rich man's phone, the way rich people and successful people make phone calls. They don't pick up the phone and talk. They have a conference on video. So it would have been much more desirable. And also you can imagine that resources would have been put into developing it properly and thoroughly an awful lot sooner than they were, because we have Skype now, but not, if you go back into the past, imagine how things would have developed if video conferencing had been taken seriously. If it'd been a rich person's toy or technique or product, it would have been promoted and researched and developed an awful lot quicker than it actually was. And that's kind of a difference between holding a cup this way or holding it the normal way, on the stem. Because whereas if you look at the Ace of Pentacles, there isn't, on a coin, you don't have a base, a natural base like you have with a cup. So this presentation of the Ace of Coins on its side is not the same as for cups. So with the Ace of Pentacles, it's more like the hand is displaying something. And so here you're displaying, the hand is displaying a coin. But depending on the question, if the Ace of Pentacles comes up, it could be somebody is displaying anything or displaying anyone. You may have some, because you could have somebody you want to promote or somebody you want to hire or some product that you want to market. And so what you do is you display it. And so the Ace of Pentacles, if we think of it as display, isn't just a limited, here's a coin. It's more, look at this thing, person, character trait. Because maybe what you want to do is explain to people how this product is going to make you happy, or it's going to make you lose weight, or it's going to make you be able to sleep at night, right? So you've got, the Ace of Pentacles can be displaying the end result that is desirable, that people want. So this, my son used to make glass, and I need to move back so I can get this cup in frame. So I'm going to show you this cup, and that's what it looks like. Okay, and that's wrong, and that's wrong, but that's right. Okay, so if you put a cup on a table, it's going to balance. It's going to sit there, and it will sit there until somebody moves it, or until the table is moved. So it's as if the hand in the picture takes the place of a table, or a surface like a table, and it's solid and stable and reliable, and it's not suddenly going to change its mind and drop the cup. So it's obedient as well. We could say the hand is obedient. It's going to be there. So let's say the Ace of Cups comes up in the 8th place in a Celtic cross. And what do we say about that? And I think it's important to remember that we're not trying to remember all this stuff that we're covering in videos, and that you've got to keep it all in the front of your mind. And we've got variations in meaning. Instead, what we do is the ideas that we've covered in this series of videos, and the ideas you've come up with by yourself, and the reading that you've done, they're all somewhere in your mind and in your memory. And so what we do is we trust ourselves to remember what we need to remember at any particular time. So we look at that Ace of Cups in the 8th house in a Celtic cross, and we say, people like you. But then if the questioner talks about other people in the team or in the office or the support group, or whatever makes sense depending on what the question is. So maybe you're talking about the Celtic cross, and the questioner says, I'm not really sure about these other people. I don't know if I can depend on them to do what they say they're going to do. So you look at the 8 of Cups, or the Ace of Cups in the 8th position, and you can say to the questioner, it's okay, relax. The people in the group or in the team or the support staff, they're stable and solid, not because they like you. And that can be one of the meanings of the Ace of Cups, but because of the way the cup is being held in the picture. Because I can like you and want to do my best, but my best may not be very good. Or I can waver, I can try and then give up, or I can change my mind. But with the hand position, think of it a table. The table doesn't change its mind. The table doesn't waver. The table is solid and dependable and reliable, and it's not going to change. So with the Ace of Pentacles, or the Ace of Cups in the 8th position, you can depend on other people, but not because they like you, but because the hand is holding steadily and balancing a cup. Whereas with the Ace of Coins, normally with a coin, you would display it flat, side on, or you look down on it. But here it's being held up to the side. So if you think of the idea of display, then with the Ace of Pentacles, there can be displaying involved in the activity of the questioner. So make sure that you present yourself well. So if you're going to an interview, dress well. If you're doing a presentation, dress appropriately. So depending on who the audience, if it's casual Friday in the office, then it's okay to go in casually dressed if you're doing the presentation. But if you're dealing with bank managers, you wear a suit and tie, or if you're a woman, I don't know what women wear, but maybe you wear a power ensemble, whatever it happens to be. But you dress, you're aware of how you're displaying yourself and what works and what makes sense for the conditions. And so with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, you're not dressed properly, accordingly, suitably. So the other thing is because we've got the idea of display with the Ace of Pentacles, then we have associated ideas like with the Ace of Pentacles, it's important to look and consider and think about what it is that's going on and the appearance that it makes And maybe there's a certain amount of, because of the way the hand is holding the pentacle, maybe we're being asked to admire something. But at the same time, it can be important to assess. So you're presented with something that looks nice, let's say, but then it's up to you, maybe, with the Ace of Pentacles, to not just take the surface impression, but to look and assess whether there's actual substance underneath, or whether the thing looks good. It's a bit like, what's that company? Old Navy, I think. If you buy clothes from Old Navy, they look good for about a week, and then they kind of fall apart quite quickly. So if you want something that looks good but you don't want it to last, Old Navy's okay. If you want to buy clothing that is going to look good 6 months from now, Old Navy's not the place to go. I've never shopped in Old Navy. This is what my daughter and various other people I've gathered over the years. Anyway, so with the Ace of Pentacles, you look, and it can look good, but maybe the important thing is what's going on below the surface. And I thought of this, you know that expression, look before you leap? Maybe that little motto applies and is appropriate to and is useful for the Ace of Pentacles. So, but look first. Don't automatically be seduced by what looks good, because maybe it's not quite as good as it seems. Okay, tomorrow, the 21st, I'm going to look at Lisa's horoscope spread, I think. Okay, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.